if Ethan, you'd like to second it to start the meeting.
I'll second it. I'm going to be reading the package as we go through.
All right. I'm acting senior counselor Charles the First, and this is some meeting of the council. We lost track of the numbers when Jackson was senior counselor, so we're just gonna call this council meeting whatever
No, you're gonna
500.
record it. You're going to record it 4/7/2020 council meeting 1 of the day. That's how you're going to record it, in accordance to the statute
Are we going to
that
say
was recently
time as
passed.
well?
No, just say it's April 7th, 2020, and this is the first council meeting of the day. That's all you'll say.
Okay.
In accordance to the statute.
I say Joshua just said it for me, so there you go, guys.
Yes.
So today we have actually quite a lot on the table. Now let me
Yes.
change this document so you guys can edit it, so you can make any amendment. Or actually, I think you can suggest edits.
I think it should just be suggest like a comment or something.
So we have 5 statute amendments proposed and 3 new statutes. So I guess we'll go in order. So first on the table we have a proposed amendment for statute 46.
Hold on, give me a quick second.
For a bit of context, this is the statute that's been allowing popes to remove the council with 70% of the vote. It was not very clear how any of that would work. So in this statute amendment proposal, I changed it to where it makes it clear for how this provisional council will work, how long it will serve, etc., etc.
In the event that the council has been unresponsive or refuses to do their job, the Pope may hold a public referendum with the approval of the Archdiviner and the Diviner. If approve this referendum, once the council.
Are we all ready?
I'm almost ready.
All right.
I like it. I like 46.
Okay. So, all in favor of 46?
I have.
Josh?
I have no objections, but let's let Ethan finish reading it.
Okay, so Josh approves it.
Alright, I finished and I do approve.
And I also approve. So statute 46, this one has been approved. So next we have a proposed amendment to statute 52. And I don't actually remember exactly what this was that I amended. I changed the way states of emergencies were done. So it doesn't, it's not only the Archbishop now, the Pope can do it as well. And this is just so that we can have, instead of calling a crusade, which is considered to be something against heresy, for like if we ever have an event like this again, we can call a state of emergency. And this also got rid of the weird stuff that didn't make sense in it before.
The one thing I think is that we may want to make it so if we're going to make it that hard to extend a state of emergency, I think it should be just as hard to put one in the first place. Not just as hard, but I think that we should make it 4-1 or 3-2 and not have an archbishop's tie breaking be involved in this at all.
So you think it should be a vote of 3-2 or 4-1? Well, if we say it's a vote of at least 3-2 instead of doing both of them to save on word space.
Yes, a vote of at least 3-2.
Should it be if the Pope is not present as well? Or is not able?
Well, if the Pope isn't present, then it would be the Archbishop that would be creating the state of emergency. And it would just be the same thing. Because these are interchangeable. Because it's the Pope, or actually the Pope and the Archbishop. So, you're right. Should we add in the clause to where only one, if the
Pope is not present, maybe the Diviner and the Archbishop?
Actually, I think that part's fine. I think it doesn't need to be changed, to be honest.
The reason why I changed it was because if you remember, there was a time when Garrett would declare a state of emergency to become pope.
But so I don't think that part needs to be changed, but I think that I think it would also be cool if we could do it such as papal action with or Pope Diviner and Archbishop, but that may be too easy. And Pope either I think would be cool if you could do it Pope and Archbishop and 5-0 or 4-0 council, or Archbishop, Pope, Diviner of the House, and 3-2 or above council.
I think it's better when we just have 2.
I don't
You
think
don't
we
want
need
to
to
make this
that
so
complicated.
impossible to when we're actually in a crisis. No one
Okay.
can do it. So
Well, no, this is relatively hard to do.
It is relatively hard to do, but it's much easier than getting 4 people to agree. Okay.
This says no. This says the Pope and Archbishop must declare it, and then the council must vote on whether to agree with it.
Yeah, you were talking about like the start to even get it to a council vote. You were gonna need the Pope, Archbishop, and
no. I'm talking. That's not what I was saying. I was saying you would be able to pass it entirely with the Pope, Archbishop, Diviner of the House, and a 3-2 vote. That might make it. That would give another pathway if they're stubborn counselors. Or I think it should be slightly easier to start one, to be honest, because if you're going to have the Diviner of the House, if you're going to have the Pope and the Archbishop agree, you should assume that the council, that you should have a relatively simple time getting it through the council. I think that's something that should be
that's why it's
more or
easier
less
to go for
understood.
the council than it is to extend it, because a 3-2 vote is a very normal vote.
No, but there is no 3-2 vote to even start it.
Then the Diviner and maybe also the military instead of including the council. Since the military
I see what you mean. I see what you mean. You need all 5 to agree.
Yes,
So
that is
you
incredibly
want it to be
difficult.
only 3?
Yes.
If at least.
And then just delete the next clause about if 4.
Well, this other clause is unnecessary now.
Yes, so just delete that clause.
Okay, so let's vote. So first is Joshua's amendment to the statute proposal, where at least 3 council members agree to start a state of emergency. I approve of this amendment.
I approve.
I approve.
Ethan, do you have any amendments?
I was just saying, like, if we need to exclude the council altogether, we could do the Pope, the Archbishop, the Diviner, and then, like, the military head.
Yeah, the Chief Papal Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the guard is currently kind of in
It's
this
a
weird
office of
limbo.
the Pope.
Its powers aren't really defined. I don't think we should involve it too much into the government.
Are we relying on them to protect us? So shouldn't they have at least some say?
It's just they're not elected officials. They aren't representing.
I feel like we should separate the church military from the office of the Pope.
That's my opinion.
That's something I think we should do is separate it, but that's something. Actually,
well,
I feel like
because this is a clause of a state of emergency where the military is actually having to take action during it.
I don't think we want to have the church military involved in the state of emergency.
I agree. I think if we put the military in a state of emergency, that could invoke panic among the people.
Okay, so we have one more amendment that Joshua proposed to the statute 52 amendment, and that was the vote where you need at least a 3-2 to end it.
And
I approve that. Josh,
yes.
Do you approve it?
Okay. Yes, at least a 3-2.
Ethan, do you approve it?
Yes.
Okay. And then the overall amendment to statute 52. I approve.
I approve.
Aye.
All right. Next we have the proposed amendment to statute 83. This just makes it a little more difficult for the Pope to declare certain acts or things heretical. So that like during a crusade, someone might be eating like a sandwich, and they can say that's heresy to remove them from the church.
I don't think that I don't think that we should include the council in this.
Well, this is
Why not?
something to protect the members of the church's
And
civil rights.
If we're trying to protect civil rights, then we should have the diviner of the house included, because that's dealing with legalities and rights, and I think that the diviner of the house should be included over the
Do you want
council.
2 council
Well,
members
the council
and
is
the
the
diviner too?
people's representatives.
I'm aware, but I feel like the overall judge of legalities is the diviner of the house, so I feel like
Well,
it
this
should
isn't a
be
legality. This is dealing more with, because this isn't dealing with the statutes. Like, by eating that sandwich that you've declared heresy isn't breaking a statute.
I know, but the diviner's typically the person to check these things, and I feel like we should include the diviner with the pope.
But
Because
the
the
diviner is
diviner-
also like one person.
Then we should do diviner, pope, and archbishop. I don't think we should include the council with this, to be honest. Because
The-
even
So you want
even though
diviner, you want archbishop and the pope to declare something heresy?
I just don't think it's a good idea putting all the power of that just in the executive.
I mean, okay, here's the issue. I get that it's the voice of the people, but during a crusade, sometimes we shouldn't hear the voice of the people. Do you know what I mean? Like, sometimes we have to do what's best for the people without hearing all the bickering.
Well, I mean, I understand that some council members, like, they may not vote on it because they might not agree with it, because or they just might want to go against you. I know that, but seeing as like, uh, if you want the diviner and all that, I would say maybe get 2 counselors and the diviner to agree if the pope wants to declare something.
I don't think the council should be included at all, to
I
be
just
honest.
don't think the diviner should be included.
Can we do just archbishop and pope then?
I don't really like just having those 2 people.
But the archbishop is normally like someone who works with the pope, since they're their chief advisor. So I don't think it's a good idea to basically, because if you do it with the archbishop and pope, it's basically still just the pope, because the archbishop's normally going to do everything the pope's going to do. And the archbishop's still involved if there's like a tie in the council.
I don't think the council shouldn't be involved in this, because...
Okay, what's your proposed amendment then? Let me see.
I'm not sure, because I see where you're coming from, but I also don't want the council.
So, do you actually have an amendment to it, though?
I don't know.
Alright, well, we're just gonna go and vote on it then.
Hold on. Let me think. Okay, so
This is Joshua's filibustering right now.
No, this is not my filibustering.
He's not doing it intentionally.
This is not me.
This
is not me filibustering. I just don't know, because I don't want to include the council, but you're totally right about not giving the executive the entirety of the power.
give
don't
you 20
really
more
have
seconds, or
ano-
then you cede your time.
we don't really have another body that we can give it to.
I know. That's the issue because here's the thing. Well, no, because my issue is that the council's the voice of the people, right? But sometimes we have to do things
You have 5 more seconds.
for the people. No, this is not a filibuster. Oh, you can end it technically.
Okay, it's over. So, all in favor, say aye.
Nay.
I
Aye. Okay, that's been
All right.
approved.
Okay.
But you'll probably just shoot it down when you get it sent to you.
I just need more time to think about it, to be honest. I want to figure out a different way. Actually, it's been approved, but are we allowed to go back and amend it?
Not in this
Yes.
meeting. You'll have to veto it and send it back to us.
Okay. Would you be in a future meeting? Would you be willing to approve it if it's just a simple majority?
It is
Majority.
a simple majority.
Are you talking
It's
about
3-2 or
getting
2-2
citizens
with a
and not the
tiebreaker
council?
from the Archbishop.
Okay. No, what if it's not a full council though?
Well, that's what the 2-2 is for.
Yes.
I mean a 3-person council meeting.
And that would be a 3, which is greater than a 3-2.
Okay.
Okay. Next, we have the amendment to Statute 84. This one lets the Pope, Archbishop, and Papal Officer be removed during a crusade, because the statute currently says they cannot be removed.
I was actually thinking about this one while I was running today. The
This
specific
one,
thing that
this says the same thing as this. The only thing that is different about this is it isn't done with a decree.
the specific thing that the one thing I don't like
Kind of
about
feels
it.
weird how only 2/3 of the vote in favor can remove anyone during a
I
crusade.
agree. Well, that's one thing that I was thinking about, and I was also thinking about if 4 members of the lay community. That means that Jackson or someone who's a paranoid silly goose could literally just go get 4 people off a Minecraft server,
Well, they have to
say
be
here's the
members of
proof.
the church.
I'm aware of that, but all it takes is
To
do you want
become
to
a
join
member
the
of
Holy
the church,
of
you have to
Biden?
be vouched for by a council member.
I'm aware of that, but it's not.
It will be very easy to tell if these 4 people were.
But
We could
that's the
add-
thing. This is the thing that I was thinking about. There's no person to decide who gets to see if this is who decides if this is like legitimate proof.
That's
well,
the
I think
council. When
we
it's
could
brought to
include
them,
the
they vote,
we can
You need
include
to-
the
and
diviner for
you
this
need
one.
4 of them to agree.
How about Charles? Say
I
we have the 2/3 vote, we get that, and then it gets sent to the diviner, and then the diviner can accept.
I think the diviner
or
should
deny.
become before the vote, because if 2/3 of the people in the church vote to remove someone, and the diviner's like, nope.
Yes, I think the diviner should be the person to see if it's fair proof or not, considering they're the normal judge of these things. I think that since they should typically have enough experience, they should be the person to decide if this proof of the lay community is A, legitimate, and B, valid before
So
it gets
before
sent
the
to the
public
council.
referendum,
Before it gets sent to the council to
alright, so are we gonna say like before the public referendum can be voted on by the council, it must go through the diviner to be checked for legality or
yeah,
bias?
pretty much. Exactly. So we just have to make sure the lay community is fair, correct, and
Unbiased.
actually, yeah, unbiased.
Do you have another amendment?
Yes. So Ethan pointed out that 2/3 is a relatively small capacity, especially in such a dangerous time as the Crusade. I think it should be a 75% referendum.
So 3/4.
Yes.
Alright. So that's two separate amendments. So
It still says 2/3.
it doesn't actually.
You have to refresh.
It's in editing mode. Once I approve it, it will change, Josh.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So the First Amendment, I approve of it.
A.
I approve.
And then the second one that makes it 3/4, I approve.
A.
I approve.
I'll fix that
Okay.
later.
And then the statute as a whole.
Statute as a whole, I approve. Josh?
Josh.
I approve of it as a whole.
And I as well.
Alright. Next we have the proposed amendment to 85. I'll let you guys read that, and then we'll discuss it.
Alright. Should it be they should remove the diviner instead of they can remove the diviner?
Well, it's not always like should during a crusade they can, like they have the ability to do so. If it's they should, then that makes it look like, oh, during a crusade they always have to remove the diviner.
Alright.
I think this one's.
This one we should just change it to be the 3/4 again.
Yeah, I think this one is 3/4 too.
I was just making it the same as the referendum otherwise. There we go.
Alright.
Do we all approve that amendment?
Yes.
I approve.
Alright, do we approve the
And-
statute as a whole?
Yes, I approve the
Yes.
statute as a whole.
So do I. Alright. So now we have some new statutes, number 88.
Alright.
There is no written way to end the crusade before this proposal.
Okay, crusades can be in. Or with the public.
Public referendum with a simple majority. What's
that
the
needs to be
simple
removed.
majority?
I think that the public referendum part needs to be removed.
You think if the people think that the crusade's a sham and should no longer be going on, that they should not have a voice?
I think it should be. I think it should be slightly more difficult because.
A public
If it-
referendum of what, 66%?
Let me think.
Well, I mean, public referendums are kind of sometimes scary, as some people like to find random people and they just agree with them.
I agree.
Well, we can always put forward like voter IDs if there's really that much of a concern. So that's within the election committee's rights, because this one isn't run by the council.
Well,
It's
this
initiated
is
by them.
before the crusade is ended, so wouldn't people just say, well, we just want to be how the crusade?
That's the
I
point of a public referendum, because the government might be a bunch of warmongers, but
I think that it should be.
like think
I
of the
think-
Vietnam War, Josh.
Okay. This referendum can be initiated. Alright. Make it a 66% and make it a 4-1 or 5-0, a 4-1 council vote to initiate it. Or above.
Okay, and this also, I don't know if you noticed, proposes that the Archbishop, Papal Officer, and Diviner can also agree if the Pope is the one who is refusing to end it when there's no longer a need for it.
What?
I don't know if you finished reading it, but okay. So
Wait, finish reading which one?
the whole of the statute, because I discussed the end of it.
I didn't hear what you said. Your volume cut out for me. I'm
Don't-
having trouble with my
Don't worry
hearing.
about it. Don't worry about it. Here, I'll move closer to the mic. All right. So the First Amendment to the statute was public referendum would need 2/3. I approve.
I approve.
Didn't Josh say that the council was also going to be with that as well?
Well, that's not in that clause. That's in the next clause.
That's the next.
That's
yes.
the Second Amendment that we'll have to go through.
Alright, I approve then.
All right. And next we have making it a 4-1 vote in the council,
Or
I
yeah,
approve.
I approve.
and that's just for that referendum. All right. And the statute as a whole.
Well, hold on. Are we sure we shouldn't do 70% just to make it a nice, pretty even number?
No,
Okay.
I do not approve that amendment.
All right. I
Ethan,
guess
what was your vote on Josh's just the now approved amendment?
70.
I mean, I like it. Well, not Josh's. I like it kind of like as it was because I mean,
All
we
right.
need
So
2 people and then the council, which is plenty, I guess.
okay. So you're voting that down. All right. So statute as a whole.
I
approve.
I approve.
There we go. All right. The next one makes the Coronavirus Task Council, which was put forward by Josh as a temporary response measure to the coronavirus, as a permanent part of our church government, as the Church Emergency Response Unit.
Hey, I see nothing wrong with it.
I also A it.
I am reading it.
We'll wait for your vote.
I just realized I have math homework due in 13 minutes. It's not complete.
I don't think it will take us 13 more minutes. We have one more statute after this.
Okay, I approve.
All right. That one's approved unanimously. All right. Final one is the ability to postpone elections during crusades and states of emergency. This is extremely difficult to do, as it should be.
I
don't know about postponing, like.
Well, everyone has
postponing,
to agree in
forever.
the government. Every single one of them.
Oh.
I think it should be a 4-1 vote, and then I see a 4-1 vote or above in the council. Then I see nothing wrong with it.
Okay. Do you approve that amendment, Ethan?
Yes.
I do not. And Josh, what's your vote? It's your amendment, so I would assume you would vote yes, but
Now I'm thinking. I'll vote A. Okay. Yes.
okay. So vote of
4-1.
for the 1 or above. Any more proposed amendments?
I'd like to ask how long they're going to be able to postpone.
I guess
Oh,
as long
like that.
it's only as that is something we should add. You are correct.
Yeah, that could be completely and utterly abused.
Let's say they
And
can
who's
only
in charge of
propose
that?
it.
The
They can
election
only
committee?
postpone it a week. Well, the election committee is just the Pope.
They can postpone it a week before
and
they
then
have to.
then they would have to do it again. They would have
Yes, I agree.
Alright, and then I'll say aye to the amendment.
I will also A the amendment.
A. And then I A the statute as a whole.
I also
And I
approve it.
say, yeah, and I approve too.
All right. So now all of these are on your desk, Josh. So now you have to go and approve them or veto them.
I'm just gonna go ahead and approve it all.
All right.
Send it to my desk and I'll approve it all.
Well, you're right here. And you
Yep,
just did
it is. It is approved.
All right. These will all be going in
Alright.
the statute book. This concludes this meeting of the council.
Yes.
Alright.
Thank you guys.